Nicole here with Vision Communications, and we're here at E.D. White High School for South Lafourche's home opener. We are so excited to be here, mostly because we are weeks after Hurricane Ida. The spirit out here is full of resiliency, optimism, and we're happy to be back. It's not Friday night football, but we're making it work on a Saturday. The weather is beautiful, so stay tuned, and we'll have more pregame coverage coming to you soon.
All right, I'm Megan Archer. I'm here with Coach Brian Colley, the athletic director of South Lafourche High School. So just tell me a little bit about what this week has been like for the students, for the staff of South Lafourche High School.
It's a challenging week, but it's very exciting for our kids, our community, where we can get back playing some football. And, it's tough on our coaches and players, but they're making the best of the situation.
Good. So are y'all back to practice, back to normal? I know that the school was damaged. How are y'all making things work?
Yeah, we're back practicing, but it's not close to being normal. But they are practicing. About a week and a half they've been practicing. And, it's different. We have no locker room. We got our pads and all, helmets clean, jerseys clean. So it's tough when these kids, get here in the morning, they drive in. You cannot go in the locker room, and we go straight to the back, and they get their work in. And got to give credit to these kids. They're making the best of a tough situation.
I was getting ready to say the resiliency, not only the kids but the community is. You can just feel it out here.
Yeah, look, these kids will do anything to get back playing football. So it's easier for them, but sometimes for adults it's a little bit tougher. But they're doing a great job.
And then finally, just talk about the donations. We received the outpouring of support from not only in the community but outside the community, the things that they've provided for the team.
It's been tremendous. We got schools reaching out to us from North Louisiana, local schools also giving us mouthpieces, knee pads. Matt Moscona with ESPN ended up getting in touch with me, and Game Coin ended up giving us $100,000. So that's going to go a long way for our program, because we're basically going to be starting from scratch again. With losing a lot of things we lost.
Wow, that's incredible. Well, we'll have more pregame action after this.
We're back, and we're here with South Lafourche's cheerleaders and their captain, Elena Ashman. Elena, tell me how exciting it is to be here today.
It is so exciting. Through all the rough times we've had in our community, we finally have a chance to get out with our community and watch our football game. Our past high school years have been a little different with COVID and with this hurricane, so having this and not just forgetting about football season, it's really exciting to all of us.
Do you think just being weeks after Ida, it makes it even more exciting to be out here cheering on the Tarpons?
Yes, it absolutely does.
So what do you say you guys show us a little school spirit? Can we do that?
Absolutely.
Let's do it. All right, we're back, and we're here with the Cajun Crazies, and we have the K-Dog here. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Okay, and his name is Kendall Smith. So tell me what do y'all do, and what do y'all represent for South Lafourche?
We basically represent the fun school spirit of our school, and we run the flags whenever our team scores touchdowns, and we like to have fun in the student section.
I love it. So are you going to be extra crazy today since Hurricane Ida, y'all back in effect, y'all are so resilient. Ida tore up South Lafourche, but y'all are still here. Is that going to give you more energy today?
Yes, I think we're going to come out today with all the pent-up energy that we've been holding back for so long because we haven't been able to have these fun things.
Right. So can you show me something right now? What do y'all say, guys? Can we do a little something right now?
The Tarpon chant?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, give me a T. T. Give me an A. A. R. B. O. N. S. What's that spell? Tarpon. Louder. Tarpon. One more time. Tarpon. Tarpons. Go Tarpons. What's that spell? Tarpon. Louder. Tarpon. One more time. Tarpons. Tarpons. Go Tarpons.
A few days after the storm, me and a few of the coaches were able to get back in and get a lot of the equipment to get that out so before it starts mold and mildewing and things like that. It's a lot of people that plays a part. Newman High School, I think they brought 100 pairs of cleats. Sulphur High brought some gas. GIS was able to reach out and help us with a lot of stuff, that behind the scenes stuff that nobody knows about with, washing clothes or water and ice and helping kids get to and from practice. Our quarterback club president, Troy Gisclair, played a big part in it as well. And like I said, Mark Frazier at GIS. So Ben Bordelon helped out a lot as well with the cleats. So, we're just all very thankful for people to step up and, help give these kids a season. Our quarterback club took the jerseys to UL Lafayette and they was able to wash them for us. And so we were ready to go, man. We're just waiting on the green light. Right now we're dressing under the stadium. Ain't got a locker room. You can't get in there. So you go home and you're picking up shingles and you're cutting pine trees and you're hauling stuff out and you're gutting the house. And it's a chance to come out and play football, something that's fun. And same thing for community. Monday through Thursday, they working in their yard and trying to figure out life. And, you get 3 hours on a Friday night to come out and enjoy yourself and, get away a little bit. E.D. White's a great football team. They'll be disciplined. They'll do what they got to do to win the game. And you're going to have to beat them. They won't beat themselves. So it'll be a good first test and should be a good environment. A lot of the kids know their kids, and vice versa. So, we're looking forward to it.
Luke Rocho. At left guard, number 66, Luke Rocho. At left tackle, number 62, Will Leonard. At running back, number 15, Jeffrey Duchich. Number 8, William Grella. At wide receivers, number 27, Jace Groom. And number 17.
Y'all ruling on all with anything, but we'll help y'all with any decisions. We have an honorary coin tosser. He will flip. The South Lafourche logo is going to be your head. The fish is going to be your tails. E.D. White, you are the visiting team. What is your option?
Tails.
Tails is the call. Let's get a flick and see. It is tails. E.D. White defer to the second half. You are going to want the ball. Yeah. You are going to kick from clock.
We're going to kick this way.
You want to kick to the clock. Okay, have your back facing your school. Have your back facing the clock.
There we go. Tarpons getting the ball first.
Yep, E.D. White will defer. Tarpons will receive.
So it's curious to see if the Tarpons can maybe get some early points on the board. We're going to have our national anthem in just a second. Home team first downs today. We hope we're saying a bunch of those. They'll be brought to you by Golden Motors with Price's Priority. Scoreboard updates will be brought to you by Calvin Braxton Ford. We've got a bunch of them as a lot of games were played last night. And our first Calvin Braxton Ford scoreboard update will come after the national anthem. Let's pause here for the Star Spangled Banner in Thibodaux, Louisiana.
In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, amen. Strong and faithful God, as we come together for this athletic contest, we ask you to bless these athletes. May they use the talents given to them to bring you honor and glory. Keep them safe from injury and harm. Instill in them respect for each other and reward them for their perseverance. Provide all present with a safe journey home. Lead us all to the rewards of your kingdom, where you live and reign forever and ever. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen.
It's just something about hearing that high school band playing. It's not Friday Night Lights, but given the chaos and the destruction in our community, we'll take it. We're about to have high school football here on the Bayou.
Okay, so I can give you a clock update. There's 12 minutes to go.
There we go. I appreciate that, Coach. On cue, our first scoreboard update brought to you by Calvin Braxton Ford. There's a game in Houma today. It's HL Bourgeois 10, Terrebonne 0 early on in that one. A little bit of a surprising update. We'll be following that one throughout.
Well, I don't know about a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
That's a big surprise to me.
Yep. Thibodeau beat East St. John 15-14 last night. Kudos to Coach Chris Dugog getting a big season opening win. It was Letcher 53, Central Lafourche 6.
Couple of keys for you early for the Tarpon offense. We need to protect the quarterback. Try and stay away from the third and long situations. And I think big is going to be yards after catch today, especially hitting our running backs out the backfield.
Cardinals kicking from left to right. Paul Foray, Brody Petrie, Austin Savoy. And the Cardinals bluff an onside kick. I've never seen anybody do that before. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, they got to be careful there not to step off sides when they do that.
Ethan Lee is the kicker for the Cardinals. We are underway with a high end-over-end kick fielded by Petrie near the end zone. Goes into the end zone, but will now bring it out in the middle of the field. He'll be dropped at the 19-yard line. Good kick and a good return. Boy, if you're E.D. White, you couldn't have scripted that kick better. You want it right at the 1, force a return, and then bottle him up before the 20.
Yeah, nice job by Brody. He had to back up actually to field the ball, and he caught it cleanly. His momentum carried him into the end zone. Some officials would blow that dead.
Patrick Gisclair, the senior quarterback, leading his offense onto the field. Tarpons will have the ball on the left hash, as we said, going from right to left on your radio dial. Gisclair will be in the gun with Petrie. 4 receivers set, 2 on each side. Cardinals are in a 4-2-5 defensive alignment. Gisclair gets the snap, hands it to Petrie, who kind of trips, and that stopped that play before it ever got going, got maybe a foot. Lost his footing right at the point of contact with the handoff there.
And look, a nice job blocking by the Tarpon left side of the offensive line. They did have a hole. Brody just happened to trip a little bit in the backfield.
So it'll be 2nd and 10. Tarpon's not huddling, getting on the football quickly. Get used to that. They'll be doing that a lot this season. Still, strong side of the field to the right. Gisclair play action, rolls out, dumps it off, and dropped by Otan. Incomplete. They didn't have a whole lot there anyway, though.
Even though Jackson catches that ball there, he did not have very much running room.
So it'll be 3rd and 10 for South Lafourche, and you've seen maybe a little bit of that week 1 jitters early on. You have a guy stumble and then a drop.
Yeah, one thing Coach Young wants to do this year is get his plays in a little bit earlier compared to what they did last year.
Gisclair still in that gun, still in that 4 receiver set. He straight drops. He has a little time to throw to the sideline, and that's over the receiver's arms, incomplete. The pass was intended for number 10, Prejean, and it falls incomplete, and it'll be a quick 3-and-out for the Tarpons.
Yeah, that last play there, Gisclair dropped back, and he looked straight to that one receiver, knew exactly where he was going with the ball.
So now it's the kicking game. Tarpons will be punting it away. Alamo standing in his own end zone. Cardinals have a couple of return men at their plus side of the field on the 45. Got to get the snap to him first. They do it as a good snap. The kick is away. It's a line drive kick. We need a roll. Bounces at the 40, takes a Tarpon roll, and then kind of checks up at the 47-yard line. So all in all, not a bad punt for Alamo, but the Cardinals defense gets them good opening field position on the Tarpon side of the field.
Yeah, it was actually a decent punt by West. Fortunately for the Tarpons, E.D. White receiver just ran away from the ball because he could possibly have fielded that off of one hop, and he had some green grass to run.
So now the Cardinal offense will take the field. We've got actually their starting lineup. Thanks to Coach Lasang for sending that to us. They'll be led by Jake Sternfelds at quarterback. They've got the strong side of the field to the right. Sternfelds rolls out, has time. He's going to look to run, and he's not going to get a whole lot, but Hunter Conley just laid the wood on him. He maybe lost a yard. He got about a yard. Never mind. Take that back.
Yeah, nice job by the Tarpons defensive line. And the cornerbacks coming up, forcing everything back on the inside. The key is cannot let these
running backs from EDY get to the outside.
So it'll be 2nd and 10. Sternfeld's now at the strong side of the field to the left. Play action, bootleg to the right, has time, will shoot it over the middle. That's caught. 30, 25, and goes out of bounds at the 25. There's going to be a late hit on the quarterback, and the pass was caught by Grant Bluen. So it'll be a long reception plus more.
Flag.
As it's going to be roughing the passer on South Lafourche. That was an easy call there. They hammered him well after he got rid of the ball. So that'll be half the distance to the goal for the Cardinals. They're marching deep down the field now.
Sometimes you see these teams come out and they establish their run to set up the pass. EDY is kind of doing the opposite right here. Came out on 2 pass plays, and let's see if they're going to try and pound the ball up here.
So it'll be 1st and 10. They're going to walk off the penalty yardage. That was just a foolish penalty. They hammered him well after he got rid of the ball. The ball will be at the 13-yard line.
Who was that on, Casey? I didn't see it.
I didn't see the number. It's not 1st and goal, but it ain't close. It ain't far. It's at the 12-yard line. Sternfels under center. It's an outside run. Picking through the line is number 8. Got a little more than I thought he would get, did William Gravois. I thought he was going to get stopped for a loss, but he read his blocks pretty well and ended up getting a yard or so.
He has a nice job by the running back that last play. Tarpons came up and had some penetration, got into the offensive backfield, but the running back just broke a few tackles to pick up, a yard?
Yep. It's Darren Ducey on the stop. We don't see him at defense very often, but this year we do. Sternfeld's under center. In that wishbone set, it's a toss out to the right, looking for some blocking and getting it inside the 5. He didn't score, but he may have gotten a first down. It's going to be close. It was number 17, Bluen. He is short of the sticks.
Yeah, EDY has shown this on film with motion. They'd like to run that toss play, and if those running backs can get to the outside, they can gain some yards.
Quickly on the ball, 3rd and 2. Oh, they moved early. Yep, the officials caught him. EDY, I think, may have outsmarted themselves there. They got on the ball quick and cost themselves 5 yards. From 3rd and 2, it'll be 3rd and 7.
It kind of looked like they were going to go on a quick snap, and the quarterback was just going to keep the ball right up the middle.
Boy, that'll drive you crazy if you're Coach Kyle Lasang. You had it set up the down and distance you want. Now you're going to have 3rd and long. It's almost 3rd and 8 now. Ball at the 10-yard line. Looks like the clock is 8 minutes and something. And I'm not just being lazy. It's a very little scoreboard there. We can't hardly see it. Still scoreless. EDY knocking on the door. It's a toss out to the left, trying to get outside. Oh, boy, he's going to walk in. EDY blew him off the ball on the left side there. Number 5, Matthew Melisson walks into the end zone. Great blocking by the Cardinals. They strike first.
Again, they're being consistent on that run, getting them toss plays, and the running backs get to the outside. Tarpons are going to have to come up and fill and force everything back on the inside.
Ty Powell will be the extra point kicker. Snap is down. The kick is up, nearly blocked, but he does get it away, and it is good. So early in the game, EDY strikes first. It's 7-0 Cardinals. You're listening to Varsity Football on ESPN 100.3.
SL Bank is proud to help bring you tonight's SLHS football action. We hope you're enjoying the game, just as you would enjoy our Simply Free checking. Simply Free offers you mobile banking, debit cards, e-statements, and a lot more, with no monthly maintenance fee or minimum balance requirement. And when you open a new Simply Free checking account, you'll receive a free gift. Visit any of our 4 convenient locations today. SL Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
A new name, a new era. TGMC is now Terrebonne General Health System. This change reflects our transition to more of an all-around healthcare partner rather than just a healthcare provider. With new facilities, new innovations, and new ways to help you, we've done more than change our name. We've changed our future. To see what's new at Terrebonne General Health System, visit tghealthsystem.com.
All right, the Cardinals strike first. They're going to bluff an onside kick and then get back. They'll be bombing it away to Petrie, Foray, or Savoie. And here is the kick. It is a bomb. I don't think that one's getting returned. That's almost out of the back of the end zone. My goodness, that is out of the back of the end zone. What a leg from that young man. He kicked it out of the end zone, so the Tarpons will take over at the 20. It's one thing with E.D. White. You're always going to have a good special teams, good kicking game. They're going to do all the little things well. And it'll be up to the Tarpons to match that challenge here behind the score early. Tarpons had a run and 2 passes on their first drive. Let's see if they could have a little more offensive success. Just Claire in that same gun. The ball smack dab in the middle of the field. Pat, but a straight drop. Has time. Now the pocket breaks down. He rolls to the right, and he will get a yard or so. And 15 more, but they hit him out of bounds. So the Tarpons will get their first Golden Motors first down on a penalty. And it is a late hit. That'll move the ball out to about the 36, 37-yard line. See if South Lafourche can capitalize on that penalty.
Yeah, the last play, the guy, Patrick, had a foot out of bounds, and he pushed him.
Tarpons now with the strong side of the field to the left. Just Glare. Inside give to Petrie, picking through the lines, falling forward across the 40, got about 5 yards. So a good first down gain there. Heck, he got more than 5 yards. He got about 6 yards on that one. 2nd and 4.
Yeah, nice job by Cullen of blowing that side, right side of the field, along with Jacob Guidry for the Tarpons.
Just clearing the gun. On 2nd and 4, ball at the 42-yard line. Trips to the left. High snap. Just Claire throws it out to the left. It's caught by Austin Savoy, making a man miss and falling forward. He's got a first down. Dropped at about the 47-yard line. It was 2nd and 4. They got 5, so it's another Golden Motors first down.
Yeah, nice job by Austin Noah. Just get up north and south. Don't worry about going sideline to sideline. You picked up the first down.
Good play design there, too, because it looked like offensive pass interference was the Tarpons receivers were blocking, but the ball was caught behind the line of scrimmage, so that negates that possibility. Strong side of the field now to the right. 4 receivers, 2 on each side. Just Claire in the gun. Straight drop. Another screen. That one's to Prejean across the 50. Brought out of bounds near the 45. Great first down again. Got about 8. He'll take that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a Tarpons bread and butter throughout this season. It's a little short passing game. Get the ball to the athletes and get positive yards.
Tarpons will play a 2nd and 2. Anybody in the stadium listening, I got an LSU update for you after this play, and Coach Colley won't like it. Tarpons in an I, under center. Just Claire hands it off to Petrie. Nice hole, and he's got a first down near the 40 at the 41. On the first offensive drive of the game for Mississippi State, the Tigers forced a fumble and a long return, so they'll have the ball in plus territory to start their game. But anywho, here it's 1st and 10 for the Tarpons. A Golden Motors first down to the E.D. White 40-yard line. We're told 7:53 on the first quarter clock. The Cardinals scored first. The Tarpons are trying to answer. 4 receivers set out of the gun. The ball just left of center. Just Claire pitches it out to Petrie on the right. And he's tripped up across the 40 at about the 37. Got about 3 on the play.
Keep an eye on the snaps for the Tarpons. That one was just a tad bit high. A lot of times that can throw off time on a lot of the plays.
Tarpons are doing a pretty good job of getting some yards on first down. That was something they struggled with at times last year, staying ahead of the chains. Here it's 2nd and about 7. Just Claire throws it quickly out. Incomplete off the fingertips of Otan, but he was falling down. The timing there was not very good. So as I say that they're ahead of the chains, they're now behind the chains. It'll be 3rd and 7. But in some ways, you probably got 2 downs to get this, right, on the Cardinal 38-yard line.
I would think so.
5 receiver set. There's no one in the backfield with Gisclair. Pat with a straight drop. He has plenty of time. Shoots it down the middle, and it's caught. Didn't get a whole lot of yards, but you got some. Gained about 3. You needed about 8, so it would be 4th and 5. That was to the 35, caught by Jackson Otan.
Well, again, look, comes battle field position here. You don't want to give E.D. White a short field. It's a very big play for the Tarpons.
If you're E.D. White, you got to be watching the ball here because the Tarpons are going to probably try to hard count or try to get this for free before they run a snap. 4 receivers, 3 to the left, 1 flanked out wide to the right. Gisclair with a high snap, but he corrals it, rolls out to the right, and he just throws it away. That one was at the feet of Petrie. He was under pressure. Tarpons will turn it over on downs.
Yeah, Patrick didn't really have that much time when he got that snap. When he took a few steps backwards, that defense was pressuring him, getting him out of the pocket.
So the Cardinals will take over from their own 35. Let's see if the Tarpons could bottle up that run game a little better this go around. 7-0 E.D. White. 1st and 10. Straight drop by the quarterback. He's under duress, and he is crushed, but he stays up, and now he goes down. Number 99 was the first Tarpon there, and then number 20, Conley, finished it off. Let me give you a shout-out to number 99. That is, I don't have a number 99.
That looks like Elias Coronado.
Okay, so Elias Coronado on the stop. Big loss on the play, and we'll have a heat and humidity break, I think. Yep, 6 minutes on the clock. We'll be back in a minute with E.D. White up 7-0 on ESPN 100.3.
As a leader in the oil and gas industry, Joe Septic Contractors caters to oil field clients, offering vacuum truck service for offshore tanks, vessels, or treatment plants containing sewage or gray water. Their rental department offers state-of-the-art offshore portable toilets with cages and certified safety slings for easy maneuvering, also holding tank rentals and portable hand washing stations. So call Joe Septic Contractors 24/7 at 985-632-5592 in Cutoff, Thibodeau, Fouchon, and Abbeville, or visit their website at joeseptic@viscom.net.
Always on the run and short on cash? With a State Bank and Trust Company debit card, you can pay for goods and services without the need for cash in your pockets or the hassle of writing checks. Available on all consumer and commercial checking account holders. Call or stop by any State Bank and Trust location for all the details. State Bank and Trust Company, Cajun banking, served just the way you like it. Member FDIC.
On 2nd and a mile, the Cardinals shoot one down the field intended for Lafourche, but it falls over his head, incomplete. It'll be 3rd and long. He had Lafourche open, just overshot him there.
Yeah, he was open. It looked like maybe a little miscommunication. The quarterback thought receiver may have broken more to the outside.
So let's see what Coach Lasang and Sternfeld's under center draw up here. Sternfeld's looks sharp for just a sophomore. He's pretty poised back there. It's 3rd and 20, though, here. Tarpon's defense got to get off the field. Sternfeld's hands it to a back who hands it to another back, and they're going to be stopped well short of the first down. That was number 27, Groh, who ended up getting the ball.
There's a little crisscross action in the backfield. E.D. White ran a little counter play. Tarpons did a good job staying home on the backside.
So Austin Savoy and Petrie, Brody Petrie will be back deep. Savoy at about the 31, Petrie at about the 37, 38. It's 4th and awfully long here for the Cardinals. Their punter will be bombing it from the 15-yard line. He dropped it but picked it up, and now will fire it away. Good kick. Savoy calls for a fair catch and makes it at the 33-yard line. So just inside of 6 minutes in the opening quarter, 7-0 E.D. White. The Tarpons will have their 3rd crack at some offense here after getting a defensive stand.
Okay, so we've got a little break. I want to send our thoughts and prayers to the family of Coach Roe Petrie.
Amen.
Who passed away this past week. Just want to send our thoughts and prayers out to his family.
Great, great man. Tarpons will play a 1st and 10 at their own 32-yard line. Gisclair will be in the gun with a 3-receiver set. 2 to the right, 1 to the left, and a tight end flanked out to the left. It's more of a pistol set here. Pat gets the snap, play action, rolls out to the right, drops it to Otang. He's wide open. Nice catch, makes a man miss, driving across the 45, dropped at the 48. Tarpons get about 15 yards on that pitch and catch from Gisclair to Otang. Good play design. He was wide open.
Just a classic case, taking what the defense is going to give you. Jackson came around like he was going to pass block and just kind of release. Now he's coming up a little bit injured off the field.
So that's a Golden Motors first down, and we hope Jackson's okay. Ball at the 49-yard line. Tarpons are on the ball right away, so they got plenty time to decipher here at the line of scrimmage what they want to do. And Coach Young right away sees something that he doesn't like. He calls a timeout.
Okay, so we also want to send our prayers out to Miss Beverly. Sherman,
Yeah,
she
absolutely.
took a little fall at her home and ended up breaking her hip and had surgery yesterday. So, Miss Bev, hopefully you listen and we love you and hope to see you back at school when we get there pretty soon.
Very well said. And if I had any money to wager, I got a feeling she is listening wherever she is. Let's hear a reset for you. It's 7-0 ED White. It looks like 4:50 something in the first quarter. Tarpons will be playing a 1st and 10 from right around midfield. Scoreboard update brought to you by Calvin Braxton Ford. It's LSU 7, Mississippi State 0. Kayshawn Butte caught an 11-yard touchdown reception a minute ago for the Tigers. 1st and 10 here for the Tarpons. 4 receivers set, 2 on each side. Strong side of the field to the left. Savoie in motion. Just go over to play action. It's a dead red screen, and it's batted at the line, and the Cardinals are very lucky that they did that because Petrie had a ton of green grass in front of him. There's a flag on the play near the Tarpon sideline. We'll see what it is.
Maybe is it a holding?
It is holding on South Lafourche. So I guess in a way we're happy Braxton didn't catch it and run because it would all been coming back. You know what hurts about that one is that flag is on the Tarpon sideline. The play was going to the ED White sideline, so someone held 20 yards away from the ball, which I'm sure Coach Young will not be pleased with. Now it's 1st and 20. 4 receivers set, 2 on each side. Out of a pistol is Gisclair. Pat gets the snap, straight drop, has some time. Steps up, shoots it to the sidelines, caught by a receiver who's out of bounds. So let's say incomplete, but he had a foot out of bounds at the time he caught it.
Yeah, when he ran his route, 1 foot, stepped right on that white out of bounds line and came back on, but he didn't reestablish himself in time.
As Petrie, and boy, it's a shame because he would have gained about 10, 11 yards, if not more. But if for nothing else, we saw his explosiveness there, but he was flying down the field to that sideline. You get him in space, look out. 2nd and 20. 4 receivers set, strong side of the field to the left. Gisclair waiting on the snap. He's got it. Again, has good time. Now it'll break down, and he shoots it down the middle. Caught by Otang across the 50. Stretches forward to about the 46. They needed 20 on 2nd down. They got about 15. Can't keep Jackson Otang out of the game long. He misses a play, gets back in there, and catches another 15-yard reception.
Great job by offensive line, giving Patrick some time to throw a ball, and an awesome job by Patrick staying in that pocket, relying on the offensive line to give him protection, and found Jackson Otang for the hookup.
So we'll give him 16 yards on that. It's 3rd and 4. The Tarpons got to get to the 41. They're at the 45 of E.D. White. Trips to the right. The ball's in the middle of the field. Gisclair. It's a stretch run to Petrie. Picking through the line. He's hit short, trying to drive forward. He got about 2. So to be 4th down, and another interesting decision here for Coach Young. 4th and 2 at the 43-yard line. You got to get to the 41.
Conley checked into the game for the Tarpons. I wonder who's getting the ball here.
20's either getting it or he's blocking for whoever's getting it. I could probably guess that. Unless
that would be a good player. Conley's going to lead right up the hole for Brody.
Tarpons are in an I set. Otang at tight end, Gisclair in the center. Conley at fullback, Petrie at tailback. Pat, play action, rolls out. He's got a man open. It's caught. It's Conley's right at the sticks. It's going to depend on the spot, and I think he's short. I think he just didn't run that route deep enough, and he's going to be about a half a yard short. So the Cardinals are going to take over on downs.
Again, you got to love that play call, man. That's a great design play. Just the Cardinals are just, I mean, they're well coached on the defensive end of the ball.
Yeah, I think in watching it back on film, Coach Young's going to tell Hunter, hey, we need that one just a half a yard deeper. But a great open field tackle by E.D. White is what forced him to not get that first down. If he has any green grass at all in front of him, he gets it. So E.D. White takes over at their own 42-yard line. Tarpons every player under center. The Cardinals are out of the gun. Cardinals every player under center. This is an outside run. Getting nice yardage. I think that's Grava nearly getting a first down on first down. That's Melisson, my apologies. He got about 9. Hey, no, he got a first down.
Melisson on the buck sweep action for the Cardinals. Got some positive yards and a first down for the Cardinals.
Across midfield at the Tarpon 48-yard line. Needed 10, got 10. So another 1st and 10 for E.D. White here. Sternfeld waiting on the snap. Keeps it on the outside, and he's going to fall forward across the 45 to about the 44. It's a little option look there. He had the pitch option to grow, but decided to keep it. Got about 4. Open field tackle by number 40, Darren Ducey. Tarpon defense got to stiffen up here, because this Cardinal defense is very stingy. You don't want to fall behind 2 scores against these guys. Sternfels on 2nd and 6. Inside give to the up back. He's near the 40, falling forward short of the sticks. That's Dietrich on the carry. Got about 5. It'll be 3rd and 1.
And look, a nice job by Conley coming up. He didn't make the tackle, but he slowed the runner up enough.
That's a free 5 there. The Tarpons at 12 on the field. So that'll be E.D. White hurried to the ball. The Tarpons are trying to substitute. Didn't have time to substitute. So that'll be a free 5 yards for the Cardinals, who will get a first down. They were at the 39. Now they're at the 34. Good coaching there from Coach Lasang and his staff to identify that and just quickly snap it. Doesn't matter if you have a play and even just snap it, you'll get a free 5.
Tarpon defense right here is a little bit back on their heels.
See if they could turn the game with maybe a turnover or something of the sort. They'll need it. It'll be.
Yeah, exactly. We have to find something here to get, like you just said, a turnover or something to get us back up.
1st and 10 from the Tarpon 34-yard line. E.D. White trying to punch it in. Oh, fumble snap, but the quarterback picks it up, rolls out, makes a man miss, and shoots it down the field to an open receiver, but he was under such duress, he threw it incomplete. Busted play nearly worked for E.D. White, but instead it falls incomplete. Good job by the quarterback just turning that into nothing, but that could have been a big loss of yardage. This is an E.D. White team, coach, that I'm looking at their starting lineup. They've got a ton of seniors, but they do have 2 sophomores, and that's the quarterback Sternfels and the up back Dietrich. And those are 2 of their better players, quite frankly.
And they got some size up front.
2nd and 10. In that same wishbone look, 2 receivers to the right. Sternfels tosses it out wide. Picking through the line and getting about 3 is number 5, Melisson. Boy, number 91 for South Lafourche nearly sacked the quarterback on a handoff. You don't see that often. That was Gabriel Blackledge, who just got a ton of pressure on the inside.
And nice job by Joby Adams coming in from that safety position, coming down and making that tackle.
3rd and 7 here for E.D. White. Looks like we're inside of a minute in the first quarter, if my eyes are not deceiving me.
Got an injury.
Conley
or maybe equipment malfunction.
Yep, the helmet may have come off. Would it be 2 downs here for E.D. White? We've seen their kicker kick it out of the back of the end zone. He may have the leg from here. Waiting on the snap. It's an inside give to the up back. They're short. But, Coach, that as a late flag comes in, 2 late flags come in. We'll wait on the ruling. But sure, that looked like a, hey, we think we're going for it on 4th down. Let's just get some yards call there.
This might be a hold on the Cardinals. or one if it can be a late face mask. Flag came in kind of late.
There are two markers. We have personal foul on E.D. White, personal foul on South Lafourche. It's not a first down. Why are you saying first down?
He may have pointed the wrong way.
If it's offsetting penalties, they certainly didn't get the first down, but they marked it off like it would have just been on the Tarpons. Yeah, I don't know what they just called. It'll be 1st and 10 for E.D. White at the 19-yard line, though. The chain gang doesn't know either. They're struggling to reset. Inside give to the up back. No gain that time. Good job by the middle of the Tarpon defense.
Yeah, the down markers weren't even set before that play.
Yeah, I just don't know how it could be personal foul one way, personal foul the other way, but oh yeah, we're only going to mark off the one on blue.
It had to be he pointed the wrong way at first.
But then that brings up the next question, is that last play was stopped at the 28-yard line. Why was it a 9-yard penalty? Anyway.
I can't answer that.
2nd and 10. Straight drop and a throw to the sideline, deflected and incomplete. And a late flag comes in again on this one. The deflection was by number 50 of South Lafourche, I think. That's number 60, which is Landon Wisher. Yeah, that personal foul play, the run was stopped at the 29, then they marked the ball off to the 19, which doesn't make any sense. There's a flag on this first down play, as Coach Young is discussing his options with the white hat official as we speak. The early indications is that it's holding on E.D. White, and they'll mark it back 10. So it'll be 2nd and long. Probably about 19, was you figure they gained the yard on that inside give on first down.
Speaking of long, are we still in the first quarter?
Yeah, you ain't lying. Very, very long first quarter. Sternfeld under center, 2nd and 19 at the 28-yard line. Oh, they moved. That'll be 5 more back. The right tackle for E.D. White flinched. So from 2nd and 19, we go to 2nd and 24. It's my early math lesson of the day. Coach, you know what this looks like? This first quarter looks like two teams that have been in a hurricane and hadn't been practicing very much.
Oh, well, look, the Cardinals have one game under their belt.
Yeah. Tarpon's got to be careful here. 2nd and 24. Sternfels still under center. Tarpon's showing blitz. Back out for now. And they show blitz again. It's an inside give. Not getting anything there. Number 56, I think, for South Lafourche was there on the stop, which would be Zach Lewin. Gain of maybe a yard.
Yeah, Tarpons did a good job stopping that run right up the middle. And it's going to end of the first quarter.
Yep, so the end of our first quarter, it's E.D. White 7, South Lafourche 0. We'll be back in a minute with a big third down play. Cardinals, as we said, their kickoff guy kicked it out of the back of the end zone, so if they could get just a little bit of yardage here, they may be able to try a kick. We'll keep an eye on that here, as it is a rollout by the quarterback. He's hit and he's dropped. Wes Solomon dropped him back on the other side of the 35. He ain't kicking a field goal now. It's 4th and a mile for the Cardinals.
Nice job by Wes coming from the backside. We're going to try and sprint out, a roll out to the wide side of the field, and Wes was on outside the field and just shot that gap and did a good job.
Cardinals were fortunate. Sternfeld lost the football, but it bounced right back into his belly. That could have been disastrous. Colin Gravois is the punter. He's standing at his own 48-yard line. Pooches it high in the air. That's a duck. That is a wounded duck going straight out of bounds near the 20-yard line or so. So the Cardinals certainly hoped for better than that out of the pooch kick. It'll be killed at the 18-yard line. So all things considered, not bad for the Tarpons. They could have had way worse field position than that. Key for South Lafourche now, coaches, they're getting to the dance. They're just not doing a whole lot of dancing. They've got to get into Cardinal territory and finish drives.
Just talked to Patrick just clear on the sideline. He's a little frustrated. He says, Coach, we're moving the ball, just little things right now. So going to the end zone.
Say that would be a good observation from Patrick as it's 1st and 10 for the Tarpons. 2 backs in the backfield, strong side of the field to the right. Tarpons have 2 receivers out that way. It's Savoie in the backfield with just Claire and Petrie. Patrick throws it to Petrie. Petrie's going to throw it to a wide open receiver, Prejean. He's going to run for a while, and he's going to be dropped at the Cardinal 42-yard line. Coach Young goes into his bag of tricks and gets a huge play. The toss to Petrie, who then flipped it out to Prejean. The Tarpons got a big first down play.
The Tarpons will have 1, 2, sometimes 3 of these special plays, these trick plays in their game plan each week.
Oh, they burned them there. If it just a little bit more air under the ball, Prejean could have caught it in her hand, maybe scored, but we'll take the long gain nonetheless. Just going out in the gun. Strong side of the field to the left. Pat with an inside give to Petrie. Picking through the line across the 40, falls forward to the 37. Tell you, that's one thing about Petrie, Coach. He is going to fall forward on just about every time he gets that football. There looked like he had just a yard or two, but he ended up turning it into about a 4-yard gain.
And that's why it's such a key for the offensive line, just to get a little push, because he's going to run the ball. And like you said, he's going to fall forward. He'll gain 2-3 yards.
2nd and about 6. Ball at the 37-yard line of E.D. White. Gisclair gets the snap. Straight drop, throws it to the sideline at the feet of the receiver, Prejean, incomplete. Patrick's got to be careful because, again, there he was predetermined where he was going to go with the ball, stared at that one receiver, and the Cardinals are starting to jump the routes a little bit.
Yeah, and I know an offensive scheme of the Tarpons, they got more than one route. That's Patrick's looking, he's zoning in on one route from the snap.
Now, on the flip side to that is if the Cardinals start jumping the routes too aggressively, you could hitch and go and maybe beat them deep. So the chess match will continue. 3rd and 6, Gisclair shoots it to Otan. That's a Golden Motors first down, but he fumbled the football. Oh, man, he got across the 6, then he fumbled the ball, and the Cardinals fall on it at their own 28-yard line. And that has been the story of the afternoon for the Tarpons so far as they get close and then do something to stall out.
Yeah, unfortunate for the Tarpons right there. It was just he had the ball, he tucked it in, and God just came in and hit him.
So E.D. White will regain possession at their own 29-yard line. 1st and 10, see if the Tarpon defense could hold. Quarterback keeps it on the outside, makes the pitch across the 30 and dropped by Alamo at the 32-yard line. That was number 27 on the carry. Let me tell you who that is. That is Jace Groh. Good open field tackle by Wes Alamo there.
At least Tarpons went ahead and flipped the field just a little on that possession there.
Yep. Gain of 4 on that first down run. Sternfels under center. Waiting on the snap. It's an outside run. Picking through the line and falling forward across the 35 is William Gravois. Short of the sticks, but got about another 4 more, so it'll be 3rd and 2. Big play. Boy, the Tarpons would like to push him back and force a punt here.
Yeah, we'll see on this play right here if the Cardinals have confidence in their ability to go right up at the Tarpons to get 2 yards, or if they're going to try something on the outside.
We'll see. They need a full 2 yards. It's 3rd and 2. They're going to toss it out wide, and they're going to get a nice gain and a first down and more across the 45. That is number 5, Melanson. Boy, the Tarpons had a guy there right at the pitch, but a nice late block at the last second sprung the play. First and 10 for E.D. White. Near midfield, strong side of the field to the left. Cardinals doing some hard counting. Tarpons not biting. It's an inside give to the up back, number 15, Dietrich, who gets across midfield, gets about 4 to the 48.
On the last play, the Tarpon coaching staff's not happy with the officials. They saying that their guys were being held on the outside.
They had the telltale sign of a hold, which was a defender chasing the ball and then throwing his hands up in the air. But there are also times now where defenders have learned to just do that and try to sell it. 2nd and 6. Sternfels gives it to the up back. Dietrich, boy, he's hit hard. Didn't get anything. Conley laid a licking on him. He didn't get nothing, no gain.
Yeah, the Cardinals like those belly plays. Quarterback reverses out, gives to that fullback. See if they can get the Tarpons right here. They have to be careful on that backside that they don't over-penetrate the play.
In today's world of spread offense, throw the ball 50 times a game, I like this kind of offense. You could control the clock. You could control a lot of things if you do this well. The 3rd and 6. Sternfels rolls out, shoots it to the sideline, is caught across the 40. That's number 13 on the grab. That is a first down for E.D. White. The reception was made by Passman. So the Cardinals keep their drive alive. Ball now at the Tarpon 39. Sternfels waiting on the snap. And the Tarpons gave him 5 free. Alamo jumped into the neutral zone on the hard count.
Up to this point, Tarpons have been doing a pretty good job of staying disciplined on the defensive line, not jumping off sides.
Now it is. Talked about the chess match. As Coach was saying, with 1st and 5, try play action, shoot one deep down the field here. It'd be a good down and distance to try it. Waiting on the snap. They stay with the inside gift to Dietrich. He got a little bit, not a lot, but heck, when it's 1st and 5, you don't need a lot. He got about 2 or 3. Those of you just joining us, it's 7-0 E.D. White. Getting close to the water break here in the second quarter. This second quarter is going by much more quickly than the first quarter, which drug. Cardinals are marching. It's 2nd and 3. Sternfels. Tarpons gave him 5 free again. You can't keep doing that, fellas. I know you want to blitz, but you got to wait for the ball to be snapped.
Good play design by the Cardinals right here. They've been showing motion and doing a toss. Right here they had the motion and they just go with a freeze play and draw the Tarpons off sides.
And is it the water break or did Coach Young call a timeout? Either way.
A break.
Either way, we'll be back in a minute. E.D. White up 7-0, looking to add to it on ESPN 100.3.
A new name, a new era. TGMC is now Terrebonne General Health System. This change reflects our transition to more of an all-around healthcare partner rather than just a healthcare provider. With new facilities, new innovations, and new ways to help you, we've done more than change our name. We've changed our future. To see what's new at Terrebonne General Health System, visit tghealthsystem.com.
And welcome back here to E.D. White. The Cardinals lead 7-0, looking to drive some more points on the board. 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. Casey Gisclair here with Coach Brian Colley. Reminder that next Friday we're going to be at Central of Baton Rouge making a road trip. Tarpons are going to be playing a team out in the middle of the state, out in state capital. 1st and 10 here for E.D. White. Sternfels rolls out to the right, has time, is going to run, and is going to make a man miss. He's going to make another man miss, get across the 20, dropped at the 18. Boy, I tell you, for a sophomore, this kid is poised. He has done an excellent job so far today managing this game. And there, it looked like he'd get 2 or 3 yards, ended up getting 7 or 8 yards.
Smart decision by the quarterback not throwing the ball because the Tarpons had some good coverage in the secondary. He tugged the ball and ran, and Conley came and, delivered a hit. My head is hurting.
You know, that's one thing about this Tarpon secondary. There were some questions there, some inexperienced players. So far, through almost a half, they've held up pretty well. Second and short. Sternfeld's on an outside run. Picking through the line, and he may score at the pylon. He is in for an E.D. White touchdown. Gravois. It's a 17-yard touchdown, and the Cardinals add to their lead.
Yep, Cardinals coming that little buck sweep action again. Tarpons did a good job of shutting the run off on the inside, but he broke it to the outside.
You know, story of this game, both teams probably have about the same amount of yards. E.D. White's finishing drives, the Tarpons are not. As the extra point try is up and no good. There's going to be a roughing the kicker on South Lafourche. They leveled the kicker, got a lot of pressure, but didn't touch the ball to deflect it. So the Cardinals are going to get another try at this. Or do they opt to go for 2 points here?
See what decision they're going to make here. It looks like they may be bringing their offense back on.
Yep, they're going to go for 2. I tell you, the first extra point was almost blocked, and then that one was nearly blocked, but the timing was so bad he missed it. Given that you'll be able to put the ball at the 1.5-yard line, this is probably not a bad idea. So big early down. Can the Tarpons steal a point here from E.D. White? Or vice versa, can E.D. White steal a point from South Lafourche?
When this game's all said and done, this could be a huge play.
Yep, I agree. Ball at the 1.5. Sternfeld's in that same wishbone look. Man in motion. They hand it up the middle, and they got it. That's number 27, Jace Groh. So E.D. White leads 15-0. We'll be back in a minute. The Tarpons got to find some answers. You're listening to Varsity Football on ESPN 100.3.
Always on the run and short on cash? With a State Bank and Trust Company debit card, you can pay for goods and services without the need for cash in your pockets or the hassle of writing checks. Available on all consumer and commercial checking account holders. Call or stop by any State Bank and Trust location for all the details. State Bank and Trust Company, Cajun banking, served just the way you like it. Member FDIC.
Medications can be scary sometimes, but necessary for our health and well-being. Lady of the Sea Community Pharmacy staff are trained in finding you the lowest cost available on your medications. Stop by with your prescriptions or medicine bottles and let one of us review your options. Patients who take their medications as prescribed have better health outcomes. Stop by one of our pharmacies today, located in Rouse's Supermarket on Highway 3235 in La Rose, or at Lady of the Sea Medical Clinic in Cutoff. We treat you like family at Lady of the Sea.
E.D. White adds to their lead on a 17-yard touchdown run from Gravois. They lead 15-0 after the 2-point conversion. Tarpons don't have 11 on the field for special teams. They just hustle another man on. They still got time. The ball hasn't even been blown in play. Cardinals are going to bombs away, and we mean literally bombs away because their kicker kicked it out of the back of the end zone the last time. Here we go. This one is a higher kick that will be returned by Petrie at about the 15-yard line. He dropped it. And the Cardinals picked it up, and they're going to run it into the end zone. What a disaster. That is going to be an 18-yard touchdown, I think. The officials are discussing whether or not you could advance that.
Well, they blew the whistle as soon as the E.D. White came up with the ball. The whistles were blowing, so that's going to be a dead ball regardless, but you can't advance a muff.
Oh, Tarpons catch it, somewhat of a break, but they still turn it over, and man, you got to be more prepared on that side of the ball. They didn't have 11 guys on the field, and then you muff it, and it's just a nightmare as E.D. White will now take over.
Yeah, I just hit the pads of our returner, and the ball just bounced straight to E.D. White.
They'll take over at the 24-yard line of South Lafourche, looking to drive an early nail here. See if the Tarpons got to make something happen. Remember, the Cardinals are also getting the ball to start the second half. Sternfels on an inside give, pushing forward is number 15, Dietrich, and a very late flag comes in. And I don't think Coach Young's going to like the result of that. Gained about 5 on the run. They're going to probably gain some more in some penalty yards. Tarpon's got to compose themselves here.
Well, we just had an ejection.
You know, look, you're frustrated. I get it. But the reason why you're losing this game is because you're fumbling the ball around the park. Now, here, take control of what you could control. The Tarpons are their own worst enemy right now. They have no one to blame for this hole but themselves.
Oh, look, there's absolutely no place in football for this.
So one young man is going to be watching the rest of this game from the sideline and maybe even some of next week as well. A very late hit. The Cardinals would play a 1st and goal after the penalty yardage is walked off. $15-0 E.D. White looking to add to it. Now getting late into the second quarter, 4 minutes and what looks like 47 to my naked eye from the press box. Injury timeout because there was a Cardinal hurt on the field. The officials are talking about the penalty situation. Ball will now be spotted at the 8-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for E.D. White. About 8.5. So 1st and goal for E.D. White. Sternfels tosses it out wide. Melisson is hit, stumbling forward. My goodness. That is an 8-yard touchdown. That'll be on the highlight reels. He was hit at the line of scrimmage, stumbled, dropped his head, then some kind of way regained his balance and got into the end zone. That was one hell of a run from that young man. This is a good football team. They know what they do well. They have got a good identity about them. It's the reason why they made it to the semifinals in Division II last year. Waiting on the snap. Snap is down, kick is up. It is good. Barely, just kind of a little pop-up kick that just got over the bar. We'll be back in a minute. It's 22-0 E.D. White here on ESPN 100.3.
SL Bank is proud to help bring you tonight's SLHS football action. We hope you're enjoying the game, just as you would enjoy our Simply Free checking. Simply Free offers you mobile banking, debit cards, e-statements, and a lot more, with no monthly maintenance fee or minimum balance requirement. And when you open a new Simply Free checking account, you'll receive a free gift. Visit any of our 4 convenient locations today. SL Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
A new name, a new era. TGMC is now Terrebonne General Health System. This change reflects our transition to more of an all-around healthcare partner rather than just a healthcare provider. With new facilities, new innovations, and new ways to help you, we've done more than change our name. We've changed our future. To see what's new at Terrebonne General Health System, visit tghealthsystem.com.
All right, 22-0 E.D. White late in the first half. Cardinals are going to kick it away. There's a huge drive coming up for South Lafourche, especially with E.D. White getting the ball to start the second half. Number 25 is the E.D. White kicker. We'll tell you who that is in a minute. He's done an excellent job. This is a line drive kick that'll bounce at the 7 and will be fielded by Petrie, and he will be dropped at the 15. That is Owen Thibodeau. We've seen the high pop-up kick. We've seen the line drive. We've seen the heater that goes through the end zone. They could do a lot of things in their kickoff team, and they pinned the Tarpons back here.
Coach Young talking to the offense, just telling them to relax and settle down. Still got a lot of game left.
Yep. Look, you're getting yards. Oh, plenty. You're just not scoring points. Got to reverse that and finish some drives. You can maybe get back in it. Just clearing the gun, 4 receiver set. Strong side of the field is to the left. Austin Savoy in motion, which will make this trips to the left. Just Claire waiting on the snap. He's got it. Shoots it to Savoy, who will make a man miss, and then will go down. He lost yardage. He's back on the other side of the 10. So Tarpons lose about 4 on that play. All right, heck, lost more than that. Lost about 6 on the play. Good job by Edie White closing on that football there. Tarpons are in a hole, and they're in need of something to feel good about. There's not been a whole lot of that here in the first half. Just Claire. Play action, rolls out to the right, shoots it to Otain. Flag on the play. Jackson caught it and gained about 3. We'll wait on the marker. Officials are pointing to Edie White. Nope, it's on the Tarpons, an eligible man downfield. Kyle is saying may just decline this one. It was 2nd and 16. Tarpons only got 2 or 3 yards. That's what I would do at least. They're talking about it now. They will decline it. So the down will count, the play will count. The Tarpons will get their 2-3 yard gain. And it'll be 3rd and they got about 1. So it'll be 3rd and about 16, 3rd and about 15 rather. Got to get to the 25. You're at about the 10. Just Claire catches the snap under pressure, throws a hot one to Petrie, catches it, makes a man miss, and he's got a Golden Motors first down. Tarpons needed it in the worst way. Edie White brought the house. Patrick got it out hot. Petrie made a man miss and got about 16. Golden Motors first down.
Nice play design again, and good job by Brody. Yards after catch, turning right up the field for the first down.
Tarpons got to have a little pep to their step. The clock's at 3 minutes. Just Claire waiting on the snap. He's got it. It's an inside run to Petrie. Gets to the 30, so he gained about 3. Well, you just think the Tarpons got to score before half here. Down 22-0 with Edie White getting the first possession. You got to get some points here before half. 2nd and 7. Just Claire with a 3 receiver set, 2 of them to the right side of the field. Pat rolls out, drops it to Otain, and didn't get much. That's going to be offensive interference, though. Remember earlier in the game when I said the Tarpons were blocking down the field, but the ball was caught behind the line, so it didn't matter? There, the ball wasn't caught behind the line, so that's going to be offensive interference on South Lafourche. Oh, they're going to just call an eligible man downfield, which again, Edie White will decline.
Man downfield again.
So it'll be 3rd and...
They called a legal man downfield?
Yeah, I don't know how you could have got downfield. The pass was in the air within a second. I don't know why they declined this penalty either. It's only 3rd and 6. I would have maybe liked the yardage on this one. See if the Tarpons can make them pay. We have a scoreboard update from Starkville after this play. Just Claire sending Savoy in motion. Pat with a straight drop under pressure, shoots it down the field, incomplete. Had two receivers in one spot. Prejean Otan. I think it was intended for Otan, but it falls incomplete. The scoreboard update is Mississippi State just converted a short field goal, so it's now 7-3 LSU with 8 minutes to go in the first half of that game.
Tarpons need halftime to come pretty quick.
I agree. I agree. They are back on their heels in a big way.
A lot of walking around, heads hanging.
And again, the Tarpons punt team only had 10 on the field. Hustling a guy on late. Got to clean all those little things up.
Well, normally Gabriel Blackledge would be in that position.
It's a snap. Gets a high punt, not a lot of depth to it, but it'll get a nice Tarpon roll and will be fielded at the 34. And down right away is the return man, who quite frankly shouldn't have touched it. Scoreboard update brought to you by Calvin Braxton Ford. How about this? HL Bourgeois 16, Terrebonne 0 in the fourth quarter of that game. Things that make you say, wow.
Wow.
Look, man, look, sometimes, you know this well, sometimes all it takes is a kind of shuffle things up. Sterling Washington's got those guys playing hard, man. First and 10 for E.D. White here, inside of 2 minutes. The Cardinals, I think, have all three of their timeouts. Sternfeld's on an outside run. Nice gain, and across the 50, driving to the 43. That is Grow, a big gain and a first down for the Cardinals. Gain of 18.
Look, conditioning right here, defense.
Yeah, Tarpon defense has spent a lot of time on the field in this first half. E.D. White up big, looking to get greedy here. Sternfeld rolls out. Shoots it down the middle. That's caught. How far is he going to run? He's going to run into the end zone. That is a touchdown to number 2, Lafourche. That is a 32-yard touchdown. And E.D. White's up big. And as you said, Coach, the Tarpons need half in a big way. Boy, it just ain't seeming to come for them right now. That snap is down. Extra point is up. It is good. E.D. White leads 29-0. We'll be back in a minute. You know what? We're almost at halftime. We'll keep it right here. With about 30 seconds left in the first half, E.D. White just keeps adding on. Tarpons are going to have one final opportunity at it.
You know, you got one thing with the score, but I know Coach Young is not happy with the way his team is just kind of moping around right now on the sideline.
Yeah. Yeah, look, it is what it is. You know, you could talk about the lack of practice time. You could talk about whatever you want, but walking on the field, late hit penalties, that's just not Tarpon football, and that's kind of a little bit of what we've got early on.
And that's what the coaching staff is preaching now, effort. You know, keep giving effort.
Yep, usually you do that, everything else takes care of itself. You'll have a second half to try to learn some of those lessons here as the Cardinals are up big. E.D. White will do their usual. They'll fake the onside kick. And now they'll drop back. And bombs away. That'll be fielded by 4A near the sideline at the 1-yard line, working across the left side of the field, making a man miss, but then being dropped at the 12-yard line. E.D. White's special teams are really good, boy. They could place that ball in the kickoff like no other.
Just informed here on the sideline the tackle was made by the kicker.
Wow. It's even more impressive. He does everything. I can't see the clock, but I know it's inside of a minute. I see the 0 on the first number. So the Tarpons don't have a whole lot of time.
From my vantage point, looks like a Christmas tree, green and red.
Just Claire with a 4 receiver set, trips to the right. That's the strong side of the field. Pat waiting on the snap. Rolls that way. Has a little time, shoots it to Otang. He's got it near the 30, 35, hurling a guy to the 40. Dropped at the 44, so a great pitch and catch. Good job by Jackson.
Jackson does a great job of just not only running his routes, catching the ball, but once he catches the ball, he turns straight upfield.
There's a little bit of Jason Witten there, huh? Just catches it, finds a way to get a couple of yards after. And Jason Witten couldn't have hurdled like Jackson just did, though. First down for the Tarps. Just Claire, straight drop, shoots it down the middle off the fingertips of Sava. That was a little behind him, incomplete. I'll be honest, given the clock, given the down and distance, that one wouldn't have got you a whole lot anyway.
Yeah, it's not the worst thing. It stops the clock.
Yeah, that's exactly right. 29 seconds in the first half. Tarpons, I believe, have 2 timeouts. Pat with the strong side of the field to the left. Gets the snap. Rolls out and throws it at the feet of his receiver, incomplete. He was under duress. Again, not a bad thing. It'll stop the clock, but now it is third down.
Is it 23 seconds?
Yes, sir. Third and 10 for the Tarpons. Pat rolls out. Throws it incomplete at the feet of the receiver. Boy, he's just, when he's throwing on the run, he's having a hard time. I don't know if it's just the pressure or, you know, maybe lingering shoulder. He's just not having a hard time driving into that throw when he's throwing off the run.
And that's tough. Rolling out to your left, and you got to set up on your right-hand quarterback.
Yeah.
With pressure coming. That's
Tarpons will punt it away. This Coach Lassane come with a block here. They've only got one guy back deep. It's a low snap. He will run and get dropped at the 40-yard line. So the Cardinals come with a block, and they disrupt it enough to where Alamo runs and loses a couple of yards. E.D. White will have 11 seconds. Boy, this disastrous first half just will not end for South Lafourche.
See the Cardinals here, if they're just going to run it out or if they can try and get another quick score.
They have all their timeouts, but they've only got about 10, 15 seconds to play with.
With their field goal kicker.
Yep. Straight drop from the quarterback, throws it as far as he can, too far, over everyone's head. Sternfeld's had that intended for number 17, Grant Bluen, overshot everybody.
When you look at it, the quarterback put that ball exactly, I think, where they wanted him to put it. Just how defensive back did a good job of holding that receiver up in his route, not letting him get to that point on the outside.
So with what looks like 8 seconds, Tarpon's got to keep everything in front here. If they catch it, you come up and you make the tackle.
5 seconds.
5 seconds, okay. Well, yeah, I would have those safeties much farther back. Sternfeld rolls out. Should be the last play of the half. He'll throw it to the sideline. It's caught by the receiver at the 17-yard line, but I think the clock is reading 0, and it is. So E.D. White gets a completion to end the half, but that'll be the end of the first half with our score. E.D. White 29, South Lafourche 0. We'll be back in about 3-4 minutes. We're going to take a lengthy commercial break.
So we're back here, it's halftime, and with me I have Jeremy Terrio, who is a part of our community relations team, and he's here to give us a little bit of an update on the restoration efforts in the area. So Jeremy, take it away.
So yeah, obviously Hurricane Ida came through, very, very strong hurricane, impacting just about every one of our markets, all the way from Grand Isle, all the way up to Ascension, Parish and East Baton Rouge Parish. So, obviously post-storm we do an assessment. We saw there was a significant amount of damage. Right now we're actually starting to shift a lot of our resources and a lot of our techs and contractors to start moving into parts of South Lafourche and actually reconnecting a lot of people all the way from, like I said, from Grand Isle all the way up to here we are in Thibodaux. So, this week a lot of our contractors have been in Matthews and Lockport and that part of Central Lafourche Parish and reconnecting people there before we move further south to places like Cutoff and LaRose.
Can you also talk about the RTC update too as well? Because we are in Thibodaux, and our RTC services are in Thibodaux as well as St. James and St. John the Baptist Parish. So talk a little bit about that effort as well.
So yeah, like I said, this hurricane impacted all of our markets, and St. James and St. John are parts of our markets. Like I said, a significant amount of damage there. Here in Lafourche, it was a lot of wind damage, but in St. John, especially like Laplace, there was a lot of water damage. So a lot of our nodes really got put underwater, and so we're repairing those nodes, cleaning them up, bringing them back online. St. James as well, as these communities begin to get electricity and get some other pretty critical utilities restored to them, we're following pretty closely behind those utility partners to reconnect those communities as quickly and as safely as we can with as many resources as we can.
And while we're talking about that, I just want to talk a little bit about our employee efforts, because so many of our employees were affected by this storm, and they're working really long hours to try and get this network up and running as soon as possible. So update us a little bit about that and what we have going. I know we brought in some contractor crews.
So yeah, we did bring in over 100 contractors. These are guys who specialize in rehanging fiber or resplicing fiber. But yeah, of our 400 employees, over 100 of our own employees were impacted. Their homes damaged, some lost everything. And yeah, a lot of these guys have worked nonstop. I mean, today it's the 25th of September. This storm came through on 8/29. A lot of these guys have worked nonstop without a single day off. We're starting to finally give them a little bit of relief as we bring in some contractors to help and work behind them. But yeah, of those employees, I mean, these guys we call it burning daylight, because they start working the second the sun comes up, and they work as much as they can until right before the sun goes down, because obviously you don't have electricity. You need as much visibility as you can to do these very technical repairs. And so our guys are finally getting a little bit of reprieve in some of these markets, and we're happy that they're finally getting a little bit of reprieve from these contractors coming in.
That's so awesome. And we've also been out in the community. If you guys follow us on Facebook, if not, please start following us to start getting updates. But talk a little bit about some of the community activation that we've been doing in different markets.
Right, so we find a really useful tool during this time, of course, is internet connectivity. So we've set up a couple of Wi-Fi hotspots. We have one in Grand Isle right now, Galliano, LaRose, as well as Matthews, and here in Thibodaux at our RTC building, as well as in Laplace. So, this is just an opportunity for people to reconnect to the internet. Either they need to fill out a FEMA application, do a little bit of work. We just feel that offering them, some sense of normalcy through community Wi-Fi is a good way for these people to stay connected. But through these community activations, we've done a couple where we fed the community jambalaya. In Laplace, we gave out free coffee for a couple of hours. Just something to give them some baseline normalcy. And so these community activations, community Wi-Fi is an opportunity to restore some of that.
Yeah, that's so great, and that's what's part of, we're connecting communities from all the way to Grand Isle, all the way to East Ascension, and into East Baton Rouge Parish, where they didn't take as much of a hit, but we did still have some infrastructure that was damaged in that area as well. So finally, just update us. You can follow us on social media, like I just mentioned, where you can see updates that we post that have dates. And so, Jeremy, if you don't mind just sharing with us, people see those dates, and that kind of has a little bit of flexibility in it. So if you want to just kind of talk about that.
So our best effort is to actually restore these communities by that date, like 100%. So if you see, your date for your community is to be restored by 10/3, we estimate that 100% of the community will be reconnected by 10/3. Obviously, that's a best guess estimate. It's a pretty informed estimate, I would say. But there's always going to be little one-off issues, because you do have a lot of storm damage that's affected a lot of our nodes. These nodes that we have are, these are almost like refrigerator boxes you see throughout the community, but one node can feed up to like 200 customers. And so if that node took water damage, we've had to either rebuild or clean up or completely replace that node. And so that is some of the updates that we're providing. Some of those dates are tied to when we actually are able to restore that node or restore that community. But yeah, so if you see that date, that is the date that we are anticipating 100% of that community to be reconnected.
And we're also, while we're speaking on that, you want to talk a little bit about our ticketing system. If you have put in a ticket, Jeremy can tell you what you expect next, as well as our credits that we're offering.
Right, so right now, people who were in the RTC and Lafourche markets have been issued a credit through October 7th. But as far as ticketing, we do ask that if you have not yet put a ticket in the system, please contact us and put that ticket in that system. We don't know that something is not working unless it's been reported. So, we ask people to submit a ticket. Also, if you have a ticket in the system, know that we're working through those tickets pretty diligently. We probably knock out about hundreds of trouble tickets a day. So if you already have a ticket in the system, there's no need to call. We'll be updating that, but we're also rolling out an auto dialer where we're actually calling all of our customers who have a ticket in the system. Because we do recognize that if somebody's services are restored, they're not going to call us and say, hey, my service is restored, you can go ahead and close that ticket. So what we're doing is we're calling customers who have a ticket in the system. We're asking them, is that ticket still verifiable? Do we actually need to follow up with it? If not, we ask them to go through a couple of prompts and actually to update that ticket with us and give us a little bit of information so we don't have to continue to have that ticket open, just assuming that we still have an issue out in the community.
Right. And we would like to remind you guys that please, if you see a hanging wire or a wire in your driveway, please do not touch that wire. Please just give us a call and we can send somebody out that can take care of that. But we don't want anyone touching any kind of wires that are hanging or anything like that. So, Jeremy, is there anything else that you want to add?
No, we just really appreciate everyone continuing to be understanding and patient during this. Like I said, we have a lot of employees who have also been impacted by this. So we have some employees who are working, and when they get off of work, they're going to gut their home and all of that. So just know that the problems you're having right now, our employees are also having that problem as well, because our employees represent the community just as much as our customers represent the community. So, thank you all for being patient and just hanging there a little bit longer. We're working as quickly and as safely as we can.
Absolutely. And if you have any other questions, we do have a section on our website that has frequently asked questions about, things that may come up that if you don't want to call in, you can check our website and maybe get your question answered there. So we thank you so much. We are going to get back to this game, and we'll talk to you later.
It's very much appreciated. And, I'm just, again, excited for our kids to spend this money on them and give them a great high school experience.
Amen. So the Tarpons will be kicking from right to left. That is, who you say number 99 was, Coach? I don't have that.
That's Elias Coronado.
Okay, Elias Coronado will be kicking it away. He is usually number 71 on my roster. I'm going to have to fix that. Elias bombs away. That is going to be picked up at the 20-yard line. And hit hard and dropped to the 30-yard line by Wes Alamo was the return man Melisson. So the Cardinals will take over there.
Look, that was a nice tackle and play by Wes Alamo closing down, because if you don't make that play, there's a lot of turf ahead of that runner.
So 1st and 10 for E.D. White to start the second half. Let's see what the Cardinals come with. You got to think with an already run-heavy offense, Coach Lasang is going to want to grind that clock down. Sternfels and the crew heading back onto the field.
And the E-White's got to be careful. They don't want to get away from the things that got them this lead.
Yep. Dietrich behind Sternfels. He rolls out. Good call, Coach. They're throwing on first down. A pass in the flats incomplete. Intended for Harrison Leday. He was open, but he led him just a little bit too much, and it falls incomplete.
Yeah, too many times you've seen that a team has a big lead at half, and we just want to run the clock and this and that and get away from things that they're doing, and before you know it, they're back in the game.
A 2nd and 10 for the Cardinals. Ball at the 32-yard line. Sternfels under center in that wishbone look. It's more of a wing T look, not really wishbone, should correct myself. They hand it up the middle to Dietrich, the up back across the 35, got about 5 on the play. is Alamo, and number 43 for South Lafourche on the stop. That is Cyrus Gilbo. So bring a 3rd and medium for E.D. White. Got about 5.5, so 3rd and a long 4 or short 5, however you want to slice it.
See if they try and get to the outside right here.
I think they're going to come with a hard count first, so Tarpons got to stay on their side of the line. Rolls out to the right, and he's going to be dropped well short of the marker. Good job by the Tarpons there, throwing him back for a loss. It'll be 4th down. Hunter Conley cleaned up the play. Number 44 and number 60 were in for South Lafourche as well. That is, again, our guy Jackson Bourgeois and Landon Wisher.
And look, nice coverage by the Tarpon secondary. Quarterback had nowhere to pass the ball.
The Cardinals will punt it away. Gravois is scheduled to punt it, gets the snap. Line drive kick, that'll be fielded by Petrie, diving at the 36-yard line. Good job by Petrie catching it, because that thing was coming in hot, could have rolled a long way.
We're going to have a late hit or a blindside block on the Tarpons if the referee seen the same thing that I just saw.
Yeah, there is a flag at the 43-yard line. I was looking at the football. Didn't see it, but I trust my man on the field that this one's going to be going against South Lafourche, and that is exactly what it is. So good call, Coach. So the story of the afternoon for South Lafourche is 1 step forward, 2 steps back. You get good field position on the punt, you're going to be going 15 back with the blindside block. See if the Tarpons could get a little mojo going offensively. Just Claire, strong side of the field to the right, handed to Petrie on an inside run, breaks it outside slightly, gained maybe a yard. Number 10 for E.D. White on the stop. Let me tell you who that is. He's been on a couple of stops today. That is Aiden Clements, and also Como was there as well. Pretty much no gain, 2nd and 10. Ball now more towards the middle of the field. 4 receiver set, 2 on each side. Just Claire, play action. Throws it down the middle to Otan. Slide and grab, gain of about 8. Tarpons are not going to have a lot of first half positives, but Jackson Otan was one. Boy, he had nearly probably almost 100 yards in the first half, then gained about 8 more there. 3rd and short. The E.D. White student section making a little noise to my right below us. Got a scoreboard update coming for you, brought to you by Calvin Braxton Ford after this play. 3rd and 3. Just Claire. Inside run, nothing. They lost yards. Number 29 for E.D. White, Ben Hebert, busted that play up, threw him back for a 2-yard loss. Scoreboard update brought to you by Calvin Braxton Ford. H.L. Bourgeois 19, Terrebonne 0. That is a final score out at Tom B. Smith Stadium. Here, 29-0 E.D. White. Tarpons are going to punt it away with Wes Alamo. Wes waiting on the snap. It's a fake. Otan will easily get the first down. That's a Golden Motors first down on a fake punt. Jackson Otan caught the snap, faked a little read option. The defense bit on the fake, and he got outside. Needed 3 yards, got about 6, and it's a Golden Motors first down for the Tarpons. Coach, you said in the first half that Coach Young's got about 3 or 4 of those a week. We've just seen another one.
Yeah, he has a few every week. I'm sure we're going to see about 6 or 7 more. Not this game, but the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. So after the Golden Motors first down, the Tarpons will play 1st and 10 from their own 34. 4 receiver set, 2 on each side. Strong side of the field to the left. Just Claire looking to the left, now toward the middle. where it's deflected and incomplete. He was trying to hit Austin Sava on a cross route, but it was batted down at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10. You know, just a reminder of the time in the world that we're in. You know, I just kind of caught a glimpse of the neighborhood around us, and you're seeing the tarps on the roofs, and it's just crazy, the state of the world right now. Hopefully everybody that's listening down the bay and up the bay is doing okay. 2nd and 10. Same 4 receiver set. Savoie in motion. Gisclair keeps it. Looking to bounce outside. He's hit and dropped at the 35 after a gain of about a yard. Tell you something E.D. White does well. I thought Patrick had some room to run there. E.D. White closes really quickly on the football. They turned what I thought was going to be a 4 or 5 yard gain into a 1 yard gain. Be 3rd and 9 here for the Tarpons. They have trips to the right. 2 other receivers to the left. Just Gisclair an empty set out of the gun. And Coach Young is going to call a timeout. He doesn't like the look that he has. So a second half timeout being deposited by Coach Young. With about 7 minutes and 30 seconds roughly in the third quarter, E.D. White leading 29-0. We're going to go ahead and take a quick 30-second break before a big third down play here on ESPN 100.3.
SL Bank is proud to help bring you tonight's SLHS football action. We hope you're enjoying the game, just as you would enjoy our Simply Free checking. Simply Free offers you mobile banking, debit cards, e-statements, and a lot more, with no monthly maintenance fee or minimum balance requirement. And when you open a new Simply Free checking account, you'll receive a free gift. Visit any of our 4 convenient locations today. SL Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
A new name, a new era. TGMC is now Terrebonne General Health System. This change reflects our transition to more of an all-around healthcare partner rather than just a healthcare provider. With new facilities, new innovations, and new ways to help you, we've done more than change our name. We've changed our future. To see what's new at Terrebonne General Health System, visit tghealthsystem.com.
On 3rd down, Gisclair rolls out to the right, shoots the pass, and it's incomplete, nearly intercepted, falls to the turf. The Tarpons are going to have to send the punt team out again.
Yeah, fortunate for the Tarpons on that last play. Hit the linebacker for the Cardinals in his hands.
So we like to call out Wes Alamon's name, but we like to call out on defense and not here in the punt game, as that's a high floating snap that gets to Wes, and he kicks a high wounded duck that'll bounce at about the 50. Great Tarpon bounce, though. Oh. And it'll be touched by E.D. White, but they fall on it at the 37-yard line. Tarpons nearly got a break there, but the ball fell right into the lap of the E.D. White return man. So we're about to have a situation that is going to drive Coach Kale and I nuts. There's 7 minutes and 14 seconds on the clock. Instead of taking the heat break now, E.D. White's going to run 2 plays, and then we'll take the heat break. We preach about it every year, but we don't ever get the rules changed, unfortunately.
Yeah, it looked like the E.D. White returner would have been better off fielding it off of one bounce. They had it bounce that second time, and it almost cost him.
1st and 10, an unbalanced formation for E.D. White. Strong side of the field to the right. So be an outside run to number 27. That is flattened. Jays Grow lost yards there.
That was a fumble.
Tarpons stink the balls out, but the officials are already saying 2nd down. That was 99. That's Elias Coronado on the stop. 44 on the stop as well for South Lafourche. That is Jackson Bourgeois. Loss of 2 on the play.
Yeah, that last play, the Cardinals were going to send a guy in motion. He stopped halfway through a motion. Kind of was a lead blocker.
Probably the last snap before the heat and humidity break, unless if it's an incomplete pass. 2nd and 12. Quarterback keeps it, now makes the pitch, trying to get outside. And good open field tackle by Hunter Conley on Jays Grow. I thought Grow was going to get 10 or so yards. Conley closed and stopped him to about a 4-yard gain, just stopped him dead in his tracks. He got about 5 or 6. I take that back, but still great open field tackle. EDY does not have to stop it or snap it again before the humidity break. They are on the line, and they're going to hard count and snap it just before the break. It's an outside run for a first down near midfield. They hand it to number 8, William Gravois, and I think that will now be our heat and humidity break. So let's go ahead and take it with them. A 1-minute commercial with the Cardinals leading 29-0 and trying to drive for more to the left. Waiting on the snap. Quarterback is going to roll out. That's going to be a wide receiver bubble screen that's going to be caught. And working the middle of the field across the 35, across the 30, across the 25, and driving forward to the 21. That was number 15 for E.D. White, which is Jeffrey Dietrich. Big gain of about 29 on the play.
Impressed here on the sideline. Casey Trucks running with that down marker. A cup of Gatorade in his hand, not one drop spilled.
Oh, poor Truck. My man's had a rough couple of weeks. We're happy that he's here. I know that this is going to be a welcome reprieve for him. 1st and 10 for the Cardinals at the 21. Sternfels. Outside run to number 27. We're not getting much. Groh got across the 20, gained about a yard and a half.
Again, that's that lead play they running with the guy going in motion, stopping and leading up the hole.
Look, man, it's going to sound like I'm making excuses because the Tarpons are losing, but look, E.D. White's really good. You could see it. They know their offense and their system. They're running this thing like a clock right now. 2nd and 8. It's just a dead quarterback sneak to Sternfels, falling forward and getting to near the 15-yard line, gain of about 3. You know this from the way you coach basketball. You don't always have to have the biggest, fastest, and strongest, but if your guys trust in what they're doing, you could do some magical things.
Yeah, you trust in your system, you stick with it. Good things will eventually happen.
3rd and 5 for E.D. White here. We keep talking about field goal possibilities, but to be honest with you, they've struggled with the extra points so far. So I don't know what they've got. 3rd and 5. Let's see if the Tarpons can throw them back here. Sternfels, play action, rolls out to the right. Under pressure, shoots it, incomplete. At the feet of his receiver, Harrison Leday. Wes Alamon was in the face of the quarterback and leveled him as he was throwing it. And Coach Lasang is calling for the field goal team. You know, there are going to be times later in the year where EDY is going to need 3 points, so it's good to get a little live fire here with 4:08 to go in the 3rd quarter, up 29.
Well, field goal, their extra points haven't been too crisp.
The holder is Bluin. The kicker is Ty Powell. This is about a 33-yard try. The snap is low. The kick is up. He's got the leg.
Missed it?
But he missed it to the left. Had plenty leg, missed it wide left, so the Tarpon defense will hold with 4 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. See if the Tarpons get on the scoreboard here. They have gained yards but have not been able to punch it in. Noah's going to drive Coach Young crazy. He takes a lot of pride in his offense. Ball will be placed at the 20-yard line. Be 1st and 10 from there. 4 receiver set, just clearing the gun. 2 on each side. Pat gets the snap, straight drop, has some time. Now he steps up, and he's going to throw it complete to, who's that? Number 5.
So Jacob Curall did a good job coming back to the ball on his route.
So Jacob got about 8, and as Coach said, did an excellent job running that route.
If he doesn't come back to the ball, that could have been an interception.
So he's 2nd and about 1 to a nice 1st down gain. Tarpon's going to bring the I formation in. Dotting the I is Petrie. Just Claire. Handed to the up back Conley. He's easily got the Golden Motors 1st down across the 30 to about the 33. Look, we've still got 15 minutes of game time. I don't know if the Tarpons are going to make this competitive or not, but these are still 3 minutes, or 15 minutes rather, of opportunities to get better. And that Tarpons going to try to take advantage of all of the reps that they could get here. 1st and 10. 4 receiver set, strong side of the field to the left, just clearing the pistol. Straight drop, flushed out. Will dump it to Petrie. Has a nice gain, making a man miss near the first down sticks. Got about 8 or 9.
That was a good job by Patrick. He had some pressure. He got out of the pocket, and he knew his release guy was right there with Brody Petrie. Just dumped it off to him for a good positive gain.
That's a luxury, huh? Whenever the pocket breaks down, just throw it to maybe your best athlete in space. We have a scoreboard update from Starkville. LSU has just completed a 66-yard touchdown pass from Max Johnson to Kayshawn Butte. The Tigers lead 13-3 pending the extra point try. Here it's 29-0 E.D. White. The Tarpons are trying to get something going late in the 3rd quarter, 2nd and 1. It's that same I formation, just clear, play action, and it's incomplete. Too much pressure. The Cardinals busted that up. Number 23 for E.D. White was in Patrick's face. That is Nathan Johnson.
Yeah, Patrick was going to bootleg to his left when he turned up. The guy was right in his face. Not much he can do.
3rd and 1. See if the Tarpons could pick up a yard here. Ball at the 42-yard line of South Lafourche. In that same I formation look, do they hand it to the up back Conley again? Let's see. Nope, this will be a dead red sneak, and they've got it easy. Still driving forward across the 45 to about the 47. Not often you see a quarterback sneak get 5 yards, but the Tarpons got it there.
Well, when you have Hunter Conley pushing you from back, that always helps.
You ain't lying. So it's another Golden Motors first down. It's been a weird game, man. You think with as many first downs as the Tarpons have in the game, they would have something on the board. Still 0 there. Trips to the left. That is the strong side of the field. Petrie shifting from just Claire's right to his left, and a late flag comes in. False start on South Lafourche. I didn't see anybody move. Maybe a receiver on the outside flinched, because nobody on the inside moved.
Well, it almost kind of looked like their, was it the left tackle or guard? Left guard, I think, put his hand down a little late.
Yeah.
And maybe they can, that's a deception, possibly.
So it is going to mark him back 5. It'll be 1st and 15. Trips to the left. Gisclair gets the snap. Good blitz pick up by Petrie. Gisclair flushed out. He's going to run across the 45. He slides at the 47. Boy, got hit after he slid. No flag drawn, though. Tell you something, man. My man Brody Petrie does a lot of things for the Tarpons, but something that he just did is going to catch the eye of every college scout. The blitz came, and instead of just kind of shying away from the contact, he leveled the linebacker, which allowed Patrick to get outside. Those college coaches love to see that. That was a great job by Petrie there.
Yeah, and his helmet came off. He's got to sit one play.
Be 2nd and 9. Tarpons with strong side of the field to the right. They have a tight end and 2 receivers out that way. It's an inside run this time to Conley. Driving forward near midfield. Pick up about 2 or 3. We're inside of a minute in the 3rd quarter. Neither team has scored in the 3rd quarter, which favors E.D. White, who has a big lead. Tarpons playing a 3rd and 7. Tarpons will have trips to the right. That's the strong side of the field. It's an empty set, 2 receivers to the left. E.D. White showing a little pressure. It's the snap. Pat will have it deflected. Number 4 for the Cardinals batted that one down at the line. That was Fontenot. So we 4th down.
We got to give credit to Jack Chasson out on that offensive line. Is working his tail off. I mean, in pass protection, he's doing a great job for the Tarpons.
Yep, he is. Tarpons keep the offense on the field. 2 seconds to go in the third. You need 7 yards. You're at the 50. You're down multiple scores in the second half. Got to get to the 43. Just Claire, the strong side of the field to the right. Has a little time, throws it as far as he can, and he's not on the same page as his receiver. The receiver thought it was a hook. Just Claire thought it was a fly, and it falls safely incomplete. The Cardinals will take over from there. That'll be the end of the third quarter with our score, EDY 29, South Lafourche 0. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Data speeds at 30% off, plus 3 months free. We're glad you're back, and we're here to make your business surge. eTel Business. Offer valid on 3-year contract for 2 or more business services.
On first down, EDY tosses it out to the tailback, who's breaking tackles and getting down the field all the way across the 30-yard line to the 26-yard line. A big first down game. My bad. I thought it was the end of the third quarter, but it is not. There's still 8 seconds left.
Again, running back got to the outside. A lot of positive yards for the Cardinals. And Wes Solomon came up and made a good tackle. Good hit on that sideline.
Now it's the end of the third quarter, which we just took a commercial break, so we'll keep it right here. EDY leads 29-0. Coach, Tarpons have 12 minutes to play, kind of playing for pride here. What are some of the things you think Coach Young's going to want to see in the final quarter from his boys?
Effort. You know, he was preaching early in the second quarter. Just give some effort. You know, don't hang your head. You got to play. You've been chomping at the bit, wanting to play. Well, here's your chance to play. Regardless of the score, don't give up. Just keep giving effort.
And a reminder, next Friday we'll be at Central of Baton Rouge. That is a Friday night kickoff, correct?
Yes, it's going to be a Friday night kickoff. At first, we're going to try and schedule it on a Saturday because the lack of electricity back in our community. But, you know, these linemen have been doing such a great job.
Yeah,
It's,
you're right.
more and more people are getting the electricity back on. So we're going to go ahead and give the kids, you know, you want to play on Friday night. So we're going to, you know, give them that opportunity.
And that's a great segue and a great opportunity to shout out our linesmen, to shout out, you know, the people in our community who are raising money and are doing so much good for so many people. There have been so many heroes that have been born in the wake of this storm. Our community is an amazing place. To everybody who's made even just the smallest difference, we thank you so very much. But without you, we wouldn't be able to be here playing today. ZD White will play a 1st and 10 from the Tarpon 26-yard line. Sternfeld's under center. He rolls out to the right, looking to throw. Good coverage, and he just kind of spikes it at the feet of one of his guys. Tarpons had that one bottled up very well.
Once again, our DBs are doing a pretty good job in coverage. Quarterback has no one to throw the ball to.
Yeah, they have been one of the bright spots of the game for South Lafourche this afternoon. EDY has not had much success throwing it around. Be 2nd and 10 for the Cardinals.
Well, I'll tell you what, a beautiful day to go catch a doubleheader football game.
Yeah, you're right. Just to our north over at John L. Guidry Stadium, the Colonels will be playing at 3 o'clock, a game you could hear here on ESPN 100.3. It's a doubleheader for the network. Coach Lasang is going to call a timeout. Let's keep it right here and go to our sponsor sheet. Calvin Braxton Ford, big town inventory, small town prices, Highway 1 in Lockport. Thibodeau Regional Medical Center, leader in bringing the latest and best technology to our region. Joe Septic, on call 7 days a week, 24 hours a day for all your fencing and septic needs. State Bank and Trust Company banking you can count on, member FDIC. Vision Communications, your local provider for TV, internet, home security, and automation. Learn more at viscom.net. Advanced Eye Institute, make the right call. Get your eyes checked by Dr. Darby Chasson today. You know, we were giving an attaboy to the energy linesmen for the work they're doing. Big attaboy to the vision linesmen as well. They're working to put together their network, and I know they're saying that a lot of folks down the bayou will have their internet and cable back in the next week and a half or so. So we're certainly grateful to all their contributions.
Start chanting, I want my vision back.
That's right. But you mean it literally, though. Sternfeld rolls out to the right, throws it short and complete to number 17, who is going to be taken down after a short gain of about 5 or 6. That's number 17, Bluin. Foray made the stop for South Lafourche defensively. Run, clock, run. That's what Kyle is saying on his sideline as his Cardinals have the big lead. He wants to get home. For an EDY team that is looking to improve to 2-0 and who has still not yet given up a point this season. 3rd and 4. Sternfeld is on an inside give to Dietrich. Didn't get the first down.
I think Coach Lasang would go for this.
Yep. Ball at the 18-yard line. I think they're going to probably maybe even run the same play, just up the middle, see if Tarpons can stop them. Clock continuing to run. Talked about playing for pride. Let's see if the Tarpon defense can stiffen up a little bit here and throw them back. 4th and 1 for the Cardinals. Strong side of the field to the left. Ball at the Tarpon 17-yard line. Sternfeld tries the hard count. Will snap it, keep it on the outside. He fell forward, he got it, and I think he did. But he didn't get it by much. He needed a yard, he got about a yard and a half. There's a first down for EDY.
Tarpon defense not very happy with the spot.
Yeah. Ball at the 15-yard line. Next snap should be inside of 10 minutes. This could potentially be a pretty quick 4th quarter with the way that these Cardinals are snapping that ball kind of late. Inside run to Dietrich, not much. Yard maybe that time. Good job by the middle of the Tarpon defense. Be 2nd and about 8, 9. Alamo on the tackle on the last play. How many times have we called out his name today? My goodness. Second and 8. Sternfeld's waiting on the snap, under center. Ball right in the middle of the field. Dietrich on another inside run. He's near the 10, falling forward to about the 9. So it'll be 3rd and 3.
Yeah, Tom came back to the motion side, fullback.
You know, I've said it a couple of times here on the broadcast, but I'll say it again. If you run this offense well, you could do a lot of things. And one thing that you could do is make a second half of a game very sharp, especially when you have the lead. And that's what EDY's doing right now, just bleeding this thing dry. 3rd and 2. Sternfels keeps it near the 5, pushing forward. He's got a first down either way. Now how far are they going to push him? He's down to about the 4.
Yeah, they'll spot him inside the 5. That should be a first down.
So it'll be 1st and goal for ED White, looking to add on. I like this kid Sternfels, man. He ain't flashy, but he hasn't even come close to turning over the ball. He runs it well. He manages their offense well. For a sophomore, he does a lot of things really well. First and goal here for the Cardinals. Strong side of the field to the right. Run off the right tackle and falling near the end zone.
They can mark him short. One official short, 1 touchdown.
So we'll see who's going to win out. It was Colin Gravois on the carry.
They be marking him short.
So he had about the half-yard line. Boy, that nose of that ball is about a centimeter from the end zone. They don't need to gain much to get a touchdown here. I got a feeling, Mr. Quarterback, Dietrich is going to keep this one up the middle. Let's see if I'm right. Or Sternfels, rather. Nope, he's going to hand it to the back, who's going to be thrown back. They lost yards there. They handed it to Gravois off tackle, and the Tarpon defense was all over it. He's back to about the 3-yard line.
They run that belly play. That's slow. That quarterback reverses out. That's a slow developing play. Good push up front by the Tarpons.
So it's third down as that clock just continues to drain out. It's now 7 minutes roughly and counting. When you're losing big in the second half, you look for little things that you could take. Boy, if the Tarpons could keep them out of the end zone here, that'd be a big morale boost, I would think. Let's see. 3rd and goal from the 3. Handed to Gravoff, right tackle this time, and he's in easily. So he got into the end zone that time, and E.D. White will score another one. The Cardinals just keep humming along. They add to their advantage. Waiting on the snap for the extra point. Snap is down, kick is a pop-up that is up and true. So midway through the 4th quarter, E.D. White adds on. It's 36-0. We'll be back in a minute on ESPN 100.3. Coming up from Starkville, brought to you by Calvin Braxton Ford after this kickoff. Line drive, very deep kick, fielded. Oh, Mo, don't touch that. The ball's going to go out of bounds. Petrie touched it, but I think it went out of bounds before he touched it. Scoreboard update brought to you by Calvin Braxton Ford. It's LSU 14, Mississippi State 3. The Cowboys, listen to me. The Bulldogs drove deep into Tiger territory and missed a short field goal just a second ago. So LSU got a little bit lucky there. Here it's 36-0 E.D. White. Coach, I got to tell you, man, I have today called this game, have been watching the LSU game, have taken pictures for LaFoucheGazette.com, have been texting my friends about the LSU game. I'm tired, and I'm sitting in the air condition. It's been a long afternoon for Team Just Claire today.
Oh, yeah. Got a little too cold for you up there?
You got to understand, Saturday is usually a wake-up at 10:30 day for me, not wake up at 7:30 day. It's rough. Tough to be a diva today.
Oh, yeah, it's tough.
I'm kidding.
Well, what kind of statement you say LSU got lucky? They got to get lucky to beat Mississippi State?
Hey, look, I'm with you on that one.
That shouldn't happen.
Just Claire throws it out to the flats to Savoy, looking for blocks, gets across the 40, gain of about 5 or 6. I'm with you on that one.
Well, my prediction before the game was 31-17 LSU. So
I'll tell you one thing, it's great to see LSU play Mississippi State, the game being the 3rd quarter, and Mississippi State struggling to score, unlike last year.
Yeah, it's got to be a positive sign.
2nd and 5. No Derek Stingley again today for LSU, and their defense is still doing that. Just Claire. Straight drop, throws it to Petrie on the sideline, and he's stripped up good. Open field tackle by E.D. White there. Throws him for a loss of a yard. A lighter crowd than you would expect here. If it would be a Friday night game, probably be a little more packed. But, hey, look, man, there's Nichols playing. There's an LSU game. There's a lot going on. And, oh, yeah, Eider, situation. So we get it. As the heat humidity break will be called, we'll keep it right here. Coach, clarify something for me. You may know the answer to this. You may not. I heard this, and I don't know if it's true or not. Is it correct that we're going to have some 8th graders on campus whenever school resumes because of damage to some of the middle schools? Is that correct?
No, I think there was talk about it, but I think they will be going elsewhere.
Okay.
From what I understand, it may not be 100% accurate, but I know they were talking about it before. But I think between the middle school and some elementary schools, they're going to they'll move them there.
Stan and I joke on every Saturday morning on the Sports Corners that, hey, what could happen next? Last Saturday, I made the comment to Stan, I'm going to stop asking that because I don't want to know what can happen next with all the chaos that we've had in the last couple of years. Here it's 1st and 10 for the Tarpons, ball near the 40-yard line. Just Claire throws it out to the flat, but it's tipped and incomplete. He had Petrie with a lot of room, but the ball is deflected. Look, we've seen that a couple of times today. E.D. White does a good job of when they're blitzing with their defensive ends or linebackers, whoever may be rushing the quarterback, they do a good job getting their hands up and knocking that ball down.
Yeah, Patrick may have to just get a little more depth on his drop backs on them screens. easier said than done.
Yep. Looking to my right, it looks like E.D. White's baseball facility took a little damage. The outfield fencing and everything maybe have a little damage. 2nd down and 10. Just clear. Flushed out to the right. Throws across his body, caught by Savoie, falling forward across the 45. Gain of about 6. That's going to be one thing the Tarpons are going to want to do in future weeks is get the ball to Savoie in space, because you can see he's kind of slippery when he touches it. That was a first down, Golden Motors first down for the Tarps. Ball at the 46-yard line. Just clear, straight drop. Throws it down the middle, it's caught. That'll be another Golden Motors first down. Jackson Otan, gain of 11.
P announcer just said it's 5:20 and counting.
Yep.
Is it counting? What's after 5:20?
I have no idea.
5:21.
Counting in the opposite direction. 1st and 10 for the Tarpons, trying to get some points in the Cardinal 43-yard line. Just clear. Throws it to the outside. Petrie takes it off the turf and will make a man miss across the 40 to about the 39.5.
Yeah, and E.D. White's fine with this. Let the Tarpons, little short passing game.
Gain of about 3, be 2nd and 7. The whole ball across the 40, but it's sitting on the nose of it, so it's about the 30.
Sooner or later, you're going to see just Jackson Otam hit a seam and go right up the middle.
5 receiver sets, strong side of the field to the right side of the field. Patrick throws it to the flats, and it's caught by Petrie. He's got a Golden Motors first down, making the miss across the 30, across the 25, dropped near the 23. That kid could play. He is very good with the football in his hands. Made guys miss there and got a big first down for his team. You know, the old commentator expression is, oh, there's some clean jerseys on the field for E.D. White. Every jersey's clean on a turf field, but the fact remains E.D. White's got a couple of backups in there right now. Tarpons are trying to make him pay. Just clear, gets the snap. Throws it quick to Otan across the 20, driving near the 17, still pumping his legs near the 15. Good second effort there by Jackson, getting about 8 yards. Coach, the word that I think of with Jackson Otan is motor. Boy, he gives you everything he's got, doesn't he?
Yeah, toughness.
2nd and about 3 or so here. Ball at about the 16-yard line. Tarpons taking a long time at the line of scrimmage. Just clear in the pistol. Outside run to Petrie. He's hit hard and dropped. Very little, if anything. Probably a no gain there. Third and 3. I see a 3 on that scoreboard clock, so it's 3 minutes and something. Looks like 3:44 and counting. E.D. White up big. Trying to preserve the shutout here. Strong side of the field to the left. Tarpons have 2 receivers that way. Just clear, muffs the exchange with Petrie. The ball's on the ground, and E.D. White's got it. That, my friends, has been the story of the afternoon. The Tarpons get close and just can't convert. It's another turnover, and E.D. White will take over.
Yeah, the Tarpons are trying to just get some points before the end of the game. That would have been big for them. You look on the other side of the ball, it's big for E.D. White, keeping that shutout.
And that's a shutout that has lasted the season for E.D. White. They have not given up anything all year. And barring some sort of possession change here in the next couple of seconds, that's going to last until the third game of the season. Cardinals on an outside run. They're thrown back for loss there, number 20 on the carry. That is Andrew Dewey.
Tarpon can still get a turnover out here and get some points on that board.
Yep. He's second and about 14 after Dewey loses 3-4 yards.
Now they can milk the clock right here. They can look at it back, judge.
Looks like it's under 2 minutes. Yeah, 1:45 and counting. So not very many snaps left in this one, folks. Waiting on the snap. It's a toss to Dewey, and he's going to go down inside the 10. Timing was all wrong on that one. They nearly threw it away. Dewey did a good job just catching it and then had nowhere to run.
Not sure the time left, but if Edie White has to run another play, that's a possibility of a turnover right here. They have not looked too smooth the last 2 plays.
So 3rd and a mile. But it doesn't much matter for E.D. White. They're salting it away. Maybe the last snap of the game. Inside run, picking through the line, getting near the original line of scrimmage. I don't know if they've got to snap it again. The clock is inside of 40 seconds. It's going to depend when the official started the play clock. But given the situation, they may reset that thing a little later than normal. 20 seconds and counting.
Yeah, I don't think they'll snap it again.
11-10, I think that'll be the end of the ball game. So our final score here, EDY 36, South Lafourche 0. Coach, some final thoughts as the Cardinals defend their home field in an away game.
Well, look, you got to congratulate EDY. They came out and played one heck of a football game. Both sides of the ball, special teams were okay for them. But, Tarpons going to, I know Coach Young's not going to be thrilled with the effort at times given by his team, but you got to give credit to EDY. They came out here and played a heck of a football game.
And for South Lafourche, gained yards, just couldn't finish drives, and the turnover bug bit you several times today. I know Coach Young's going to want to clean that up in the week of practice ahead. So, look, we're going to wrap it up right here. EDY gets a 36-0 win over South Lafourche. Coach Kale, any final thoughts here as the Cardinals get a win?
No, look, you just got to come. You got one game under your belt now. You're going to have to come have a good week of practice and get ready for a good Central of Baton Rouge team. On the road, it's going to be a long travel game for us, but they got to be ready to go. Have a good week of practice and get ready for the next one.
Very good. Well, look, for Coach Brian Colley, this is Casey Giscler signing off with the Cardinals getting a win. But look, man, there ain't no winners or losers today. We're just happy to be back out on the field after everything we've endured. So have a great afternoon, everybody. Stay safe. God bless.